Advisor Alastair McGibbon, thank you for being here this morning. We're here to explain and to discuss last night's census online form outage. I will be clear from the outset, this was not an attack, nor was it a hack, but rather it was an attempt to frustrate the collection of Australian Bureau of Statistics census data. ABS census security was not compromised. I repeat, not compromised, and no data was lost. No data was lost. There were three events which occurred in rapid succession last night, which led the ABS to adopt a very cautious approach. The decision to shut down the online form was made to safeguard and to protect data already submitted. It was a decision taken by the ABS. Had these events occurred in isolation, the online system would have been maintained. The version of events was as follows. There was a large-scale denial of service attempt on the census website and online form. A denial of service is an attempt to block people from accessing a website. Following, and because of this, there was a hardware failure. A router became overloaded. After this, what is known as a false positive occurred. This is essentially a false alarm in some of the system monitoring information. As a result, the ABS employed a cautious strategy, which was to shut down the online census form to ensure the integrity of the data already submitted was protected. The ABS confirmed this morning that 2.33 million online forms were submitted before the outage and safely stored. The Australian Signals Directorate, a Commonwealth intelligence agency, was also notified by the ABS. I will now outline the chronology of last night's events as provided to me by the ABS and also including the steps that I took. I will then make some further remarks and I will ask David Kalish to also provide further comment. The government's cyber security advisor, Alastair McGibbon, as I said, is on hand to assist with technical details. We'll then take questions, noting that a lot of the detail will be covered in our statements. So here is the version of events. At 10:08 a.m, Tuesday 9 August, the Australian Bureau of Statistics online census form monitoring systems detected a significant increase in traffic. This was sustained for a period of 11 minutes, causing a system outage of approximately 5 minutes. Most users were able to resume their session and submit their forms. The traffic subsided at 10:19 a.m, without action from the ABS or IBM, and the system returned to normal. IBM is contracted to the ABS to provide the software platform enabling the online census form. The traffic increase was suspected to be a denial of service, and investigations into it were commenced by both ABS and IBM. At 11:46 a.m, another increase in traffic was observed, consistent with a second denial of service. The ABS and IBM have a comprehensive denial of service mitigation response plan, which includes blocking of all international traffic. This was activated at 11:50 a.m, 10 minutes to 12, 10 minutes to noon, which immediately stopped this latest event. Again, a short system outage was experienced. Most users were able to resume and submit. Following this second attempt, a decision was taken by the ABS to maintain a block on all international traffic until midnight. At 11:55 a.m, the incident was reported to the Australian Signals Directorate, the ASD, for its information and also to seek any advice on prevention of further incidents or any intelligence-related threat to the ABS. At 4:58 p.m, there was a modest increase in traffic, which was automatically defended by network firewalls. Additional measures were taken to prevent further attempts of this type. At 6:15 p.m, a small-scale denial of service was attempted on the ABS website and was stopped by the standard denial of service protections which were in place. At 7:30 p.m, the online census form monitoring systems detected a significant new denial of service. This event took a different form than those previous. At the same stage, a large increase in traffic to the website occurred, with thousands of Australians logging on to complete their census. At 7:45 p.m, the ABS made the decision to shut down the online form to protect the system from further incidents. My office was informed of the census website outage at 8:10 p.m. At 8:14 p.m, my office called me to inform that the site was unavailable. I had just left Parliament House at that time and I immediately returned. Following this call, I phoned the Australian statistician David Kalish to request a briefing on the matter. I left a voicemail for Mr Kalish at 8:22 p.m. I called the Census Program Manager, Mr Duncan Young, at 8:24 p.m. and left a voice message for him, and Mr Kalish returned my call at 8:26 p.m. and provided an initial briefing. At 8:32 p.m. I notified the Prime Minister, and at 8:33 p.m. I notified the Treasurer, my Senior Minister. At 8:50 p.m, the online form system was restored. However, overload protocols were activated to prevent connections until the state of the systems and their integrity could be assessed. At this time, the ABS provided a public message through social media and the ABS website to indicate that there was a system outage and to try again later. I remained in constant contact with Mr Kalish and provided the Prime Minister as well as the Treasurer with updates as information became available throughout the night. ABS issued a public message at 11 p.m. to advise that the form would not be available for the remainder of the night and that updates would be provided in the morning. The system was restored at approximately 11 p.m, but was not brought online as a precaution. While all systems were thoroughly checked, the ABS, IBM and ASD continued to consult and work to resolve any issues right throughout the evening. All completed census form data was backed up and transferred into the ABS secure data storage environment. Importantly, no census data was compromised, and no data was lost. The ABS was able to take adequate precautionary measures to protect the storage of the data. A detailed briefing of the events overnight was provided this morning at 8 o'clock by the ABS, IBM and ASD to the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, Minister assisting the Prime Minister for Cyber Security and myself as the Minister responsible. There were 4 events which occurred simultaneously last night which led to the ABS to adopt a cautious approach and to take the decision to shut down the online form to safeguard and protect the system. Had these events occurred in isolation, the online system would have been maintained. The simultaneous version of events was 1, there was a large-scale denial of service on the census website. 2, the ABS experienced hardware failure, a router became overloaded. What's called a false positive occurred, a false alarm was raised. I've mentioned all those before, and as a result, the ABS was overcautious to ensure the integrity of the data submitted was protected. I would like to reassure all Australians that the Australian Government and all government agencies, including the ABS, hold the security and the privacy of all Australians at the forefront of our minds. Indeed, security is the most fundamental responsibility of the Commonwealth Government. At no stage during these incidents last night was any information obtained, nor was there any entry into the system. The ABS has assured the Government of this fact, and that has been confirmed by the ASD. During my first meeting with the ABS 2 weeks ago, and again earlier this week, I was assured that the system was prepared to protect data, and I'm pleased that the system did just that. It blocked multiple events, and as a precaution, the ABS and IBM also took the action of shutting down the site to ensure protection. During these meetings, I was also given assurances that the system was able to cope with the traffic flow from Australians accessing the online form. Again, I'm pleased to report that the system was indeed working to expectations prior to the major incident. More than 2.33 million census forms were submitted online by 7:33 p.m, with peak submission rate of 150 form submissions per second. This was well within the system capacity of 260 forms per second, and all system performance monitoring indicated good performance. As I've said, the government takes cyber security very seriously. Earlier this year, the government outlined plans to invest in our cyber security strategy, which will deliver improved cyber security for the nation through 33 new initiatives supported by more than $230 million in Australian government funding. More than 100 positions are also being filled. These are new positions as part of this program to boost the government's cyber security capacity and capabilities. In addition to these investments, the government has also invested $250 million in the ABS's ICT infrastructure, $250 million. The government, of course, will be reviewing last night's events. However, the onus at present is on restoring the census website online to enable those Australians who have not already done so to complete their online census. The Australian Privacy Commissioner has opened a privacy investigation into last night's events. The ABS will cooperatively contribute to this investigation. Now again, let me reiterate before I ask Mr Kelesh to make some comments, data was never compromised. The ABS made a cautious decision to protect people's data. This was not an attack, nor was it a hack. It was an attempt to frustrate the collection of data, People should feel rest assured that their data is safe. The census is a very important document to help with government decisions, and I strongly encourage people to participate in the census when the site goes back online. If people would like further information, the service number is 1300 214 531. If they would like to request a paper form, the number is 1300 820 275. No Australian will be fined if they willingly participate in the census, and there is a considerable active grace period for people to still submit their forms. The paper forms are not due until 18 September, and people have until 23rd of September to go online and submit their census electronically. I'd now like to hand over to Mr Kelesh.